Hey everyone, today we're going to be cracking open the history of Dishonored. Roll the clip. I guess I just really like old games because half the ones I want to do videos on are from the 2010s. Makes me feel old and I don't like it. Anyways, I've been on an achievement hunting spree lately, going through my Steam list, and I found Dishonored, which I bought during a Steam spending spree, trademarked, while the pandemic was going on. I finally got around to playing it, and it's one of the few games where your choice actually matters, and I love it. I'll explain more later, but all you need to know is there's no cure for the rat plague. Shh, he's sleeping. Now let's do the genocide run while I explain the best choice-based action-adventure first-person shooter of 2012. Being dropped into a steampunk-inspired 19th century London, you too can experience what it's like being British. I refuse to capitalize the B. Fuck them. Such as getting stabbed, stabbing people, consuming massive amounts of alcohol, using a beating heart to find trinkets, and transforming into their country's mascot, a rat. We start our adventure on a ship coming back from the Beyond, trademarked, with the character we play as Corvo, going to meet the Empress. We're the Empress's bodyguard, and a pretty shitty one too, because we immediately get pinned against the wall while an assassin gets a sword and stabs it through the Empress's ribs. Listen, look. The game was made in 2012, I don't want to hear shit about spoilers, okay? After getting framed for a crime you didn't commit, you're hauled off to Guadamontano Bay for a fun day of waterboarding. Sadly, you have to cut the fun activity short as you break out of prison with the help of a mysterious man that leads the resistance. Now, here's where Dishonored's gameplay really shines. You actually get a choice on like Mass Effect 3 or whatever other bullshit story-driven games are out there. I'm looking at you, Fallout 4. Depending on if you want to play as a stealthy assassin or a D&D murder hobo, you'll get different endings as well as how much the plague, trademarked, and those stupid fucking rats that'll show up often if you just go killing everything in sight. By playing stealthy, you'll attract less guards throughout the game while also getting the canonical good ending, but also murder hobo. You can assume what I ended up doing and what I tried to do at the beginning. I love playing games at the hardest difficulty, not only because I'm a masochist, but because I feel like it pushes you to use everything at your disposal and they're not just the same thing for every mission. I couldn't just run and gun through later levels because the chaos that I caused before had more guards patrolling the streets, and even the common folk were scared of the masked magic-wielding assassin from the shadows. Every mission gets separated into segments, I guess you could call it. They're like stepping stones. They're all connected to the same ending, but are all uniquely different, but also connect to the same time. Let me explain. Like I said before, every mission gives you a chaos factor, and those affect the missions later as well. So if I accidentally slip and fall on this stone, then this stone will get wet, and I'm probably gonna slip down and fall and never get my sweet, sweet release of caffeine from that cold brew. Anyways, what I was trying to get at is that every single one of your choices matter. They'll have an effect that'll hurt or help you down the line. After each mission, you get a score, a rating of chaos you caused, collectibles earned, and other information before getting dropped off into the pub. The pub acts as your home base where you upgrade your equipment, talk and pick up side missions from the NPCs before your main quest, and explore the small rebel base while waiting for your boat to arrive and take you to the more murdering fun. I spent a while just exploring the hub because the world building that the devs put into the game was astounding. While you can upgrade your gear in the pub, you can't upgrade your spells without bone charms. These little boys are what let you get new magic or enhance your powers you already have. You can find them by using the heart, and it will give you the location of a charm. You just have to find out how to get there. There will be some who don't want you around though, you know, the pesky guards. And while never hard to take out one and two, once a group forms, you're gonna get your ass kicked. The stealth is also a little gimmicky, which is another reason I opted for the murder hobo, trademarked, approach to things. You can hide behind a feather of a chicken, and the guards will be none the wiser. But God forbid you hide behind an actual wall. That's where the game draws the line, apparently. Talking about killing, you're probably wondering how to do it. Obviously, through the power of friendship, it's a gun. Use guns. And crossbows. Every mission can be completed without killing anyone but the targets that you have to. But where's the fun in that? You have to use expensive sleep darts and non-lethal up-close takedowns on everyone, and if you mess up, you gotta load from your last save, which was like 20 minutes ago because you never remember to save, like an idiot. Now, the obvious way to play through the game is to use every single lethal item the game gives you, and there's a ton. You have guns which shoot regular bullets and explosive bullets, a crossbow with regular darts and explosive darts, explosive grenades, spring razors, sticky grenades, and everything I said was pretty self-explanatory. The explosives go boom and the spring razors act as yield and claymores. Now all of that would be great on its own, but combined with the different curses, powers, whatever you want to call them, you can come up with some really creative ways to kill crowds of people. You got 10 doohickeys that you can unlock with the bone charms. The first one you'll get from your acid trip with the shadow people is Blink. It's a short-range teleport spell, nothing too special. Oh, and a quick side note is that all the spells have a level 2 that you can upgrade to using, guess what? More bone charms that make it even more powerful. There's Bloodthirsty, which gives you an adrenaline attack that insta-kills people. Dark Vision lets you see through walls, and upgrading allows you to see the noise that you make as well as seeing security systems. Devouring Swarm, you summon the powers of New York and rats descend into the lands. Possession lets you take control of non-human creatures like rats at level 1, and level 2 you can control humans, but you get kicked out of their body after a minute. Shadow Kill turns all your stealth kills into ash, and at level 2 all kills get Thanos snapped. Vitality lets you increase your health, and finally there's Wind Blast. Wind Blast lets you cosplay as a Jedi, being able to push back enemies or projectiles with a blast of wind. At level 2 you can break down weak doors and even kill with it. Finally, being able to live out your fantasy of being Darth Vader in the 19th century London. Oh, and all those thingamabobs that I just talked about use mana. Some use more than others, and you use those little bottles to replenish it. Now, Dishonored is a game that gives you choice, and in the age of linear shooters like COD or Battlefield, or games that hold your hand way too much, or waymarkers flooding your HUD so you can't even see the game you're playing, Dishonored is a time capsule of the past where you actually had choice. I remember every moment of Assassin's Creed leaping and teleporting shenanigans. It has tons of replayability too. It's one of those games where no matter how many times you play it, there will always be something you see on a new run that you didn't find before, and that's what I love about it. Dishonored is just a timeless game that exceeds my expectations for a decade-old game, while lacking a little in the story department. All the concepts were A+ and executed perfectly. And a quick note is something that I want to start doing is rating the games, and I guess Dishonored will be the first. I give the game 7 cashews out of 10 peanuts. Well, that's all. Now subscribe or I'll replace your trail and mixed nuts with cardboard.